Now, as a designer, you are bound to use mockups one way or the other. Now, these mockups help us to visualize our creations in real life. They help us to visualize our logos, our flyers, and our photographs in real life, right? And most of these generic mockups are available on sites like Freepik, like Shutterstock. Some are available for free, while others are also paid. Now, these mockups are great, actually, they are amazing. But let's imagine something. Imagine you having the ability to showcase your designs in a very unique way that shows your own style. All right. Imagine that you have the ability to not only change the image in a mockup, but then you have the ability to change the lighting, the effects, the position, the transformation of your mockup. Isn't this amazing? I mean, imagine the possibilities. All right. Now, in today's video, I'm just going to walk you guys through how to create a simple T-shirt mockup using two amazing softwares. That's Blender and then Marvelous Designer. Now, Blender is known for its amazing 3D modeling capabilities in addition to others, whereas Marvelous Designer is very, very good with its specialties in cloth simulations. So we are going to merge these two softwares to create a simple T-shirt mockup where you have the ability to change a whole lot and even animate it. All right. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. All right, so we'll be starting with Marvelous Designer. All right, I have Marvelous Designer 12 open right now, and if you want to follow along the tutorial step by step, I would suggest that you get Marvelous Designer 12. I don't know for the other versions, but the main reason why I want you to get the 12 is that the 12 has some presets that makes our process very easy. Okay, so you can get a 12. If not, you can get an earlier version that has the model presets and then the T-shirt preset. Even though we can model it from scratch, we can do the sewing and everything, but I think if you had to use the presets, it would make our process a lot more easier. All right, so I would recommend that you should get the 12 so that you can follow along as we go. All right, so this is Marvelous Designer 12. I'm not a professional with Marvelous Designer, but I kind of know my way around Marvelous Designer, so I'm going to make it very simple and quick, and then we'll move to Blender, and then we'll do everything that we have to do in Blender. It's going to be a very short tutorial actually. So with Marvelous Designer 12 open, we are going to click on the library panel. All right, and then on the library panel you have avatar, hanger, fabric, and a whole lot of things. Marvelous Designer gives you a couple of presets, a couple of elements to work with. So we are going to start with the avatar. So when you click on the avatar, down here you realize that you have a kid, a male, stylized character, and then a female. So I'm going to add a female instead. I think the female adds some kind of shape and movement to the shirt, so I'll use the female instead. And the same process again, let's select our garment and then select the shirt, click and drag, place it on top of your avatar, and then yes, silver. So let's say, let me just save it as 002. All right, so now that we have our shirt in the scene, you'll notice that the shirt might look kind of weird on the lady. So you can actually select the shirts, the part, and then move them around. Just make sure you move them out her body, and then position the sleeves as well, like this. Then I should move it up. Yeah. Yeah. Now, after we are done with all of this, we are just going to press space bar, and then the shades will automatically show on top of your avatar. So you can see that the shades looks a lot more nicer. It has a lot of curves. So this is all we need from Marbelous Designer. This is all we need. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to select all of the 2D patterns over here, and then around here we need to come down to where we have remesh, and then check the remesh box. Okay, and then we have miscellaneous, and then with the miscellaneous, make sure your mesh style is at quads. Okay, so let's go with the quads. Okay, so make sure your mesh style is on quads, and then after that just click on file, export. Make sure your 2D pattern is selected before you export. So file, export, and then we are going to export as OBJ or OBJ selected, anyone will work. So let's choose OBJ selected, and then you can choose anyway. So let's say I have, so let me save it here. Let's say T-shirt OBJ. So I'm going to save it here and then save, and then Marbelous is going to export my OBJ for me. It's going to export. So you get a panel where you have to select a couple of things, check a couple of boxes, insert some parameters, and so select all patterns. Yes, select all avatar. We don't need the avatar. Select all graphics. No, we don't need, and we need it in a single object, not multiple objects. So after that, yes, and then we need a UV as well for the placement of our mockup or our image. So everything is set, and now let's click on OK. All right, so Marbelous is going to export the shades for us. All right, so now I'm in Blender 3.1.2. You can use any version actually, so far as it's above 2.7. So I'm going to import the model we exported into Blender. So I'm going to click on File, Export, then I'll select the object. That's the T-shirt object that we saved. Now, as you can see, it looks as if it has disappeared, but not so. Just click on Object, Set Origin, and then Origin to Geometry. All right. And then after that, go back to Object, click on Snap, and select Snap Selection to Cursor. So your object will appear on the screen for you, and then now we can work with it. And also remember to scale your object down if it looks too big. All right, just scale it down if it looks too big. So select the object, tap to go into the edit mode, and then make sure all your faces are selected. Okay, and in vertex select mode, press spacebar and then search for merge. All right, now after you search for merge, click on the option that says merge by distance. And on the left bottom corner, you find a parameter that will help you to adjust the distance between the vertices to be merged. All right, so I think you have to adjust it a little bit, but after that I think you are done. Now let's add the subdivision modifier. All right, so as you can see, when you take a good look at our model, you can you'll notice that the parts where we merged the vertices, the armpit and around the sleeve, it looks kind of weird. So what you can do is that with your object selected, and don't forget to scale your object down if it looks too big. So S on the keyboard to scale. So just scale it down, and then we can move with that. So with your object selected, select the sculpting tab up here. And now what you are going to do is that before we move to the sculpting tab, let's apply our scale. So Ctrl A to apply the scale. Now let's move to the sculpting tab. Now when we move to the sculpting tab, let's move to the armpit area, and then let's select the smooth brush. Yeah, and then let's bring the string down a little. So what we are going to do is that we are going to smoothen the parts, the armpit and around the sleeve a little, just so that those jaggy areas will look a bit nicer. And before we leave the sculpting tab, I just want to add a few things. I want to select the draw brush, and then I'm going to hold the Control key and then click and draw so that I can get some variations on the shape, because I don't like the way it looks kind of symmetrical on both sides. So I'm going to also draw. Okay, And now that we are done with that, you can go back to the object mode. Now, don't forget to save your object. Don't forget to save. All right, so let me save it as T-shirt Mockup. So click on Save Blender File. So with our Blender file saved, we can continue now. Now what we want to do next is that we want to have a thread running through or running in and out of the sleeve and then the hem of the shirt. Okay, so we are going to tap to go into the edit mode, and then with the face select mode activated, hold Alt and then select this face. All right, and Shift Alt select this side as well, and then come down here, Shift Alt select, Shift Alt select again, and then come to this side, Shift Alt select, Shift Alt select. Now what you are going to do is that we are going to separate those faces from the shirt. Okay, but we are going to need, what we need is the edges. So I think we should change it to the edges instead. So the edges. But before we do that, let's add a loop cut. Let's add, so Control R, add a loop cut over here, and then come to this side, Control R, add a loop cut over here too. Come to the bottom, and then Control R, add a loop cut over here too. All right, so now what you're going to do is that you're going to select this ring edges. So Alt select them, and then Shift Alt select this one too. Come over here, Shift Alt select, Shift Alt select, and to the hem too, Shift Alt select, Shift Alt select, and then P on the keyboard and then click on selection. So we can tap to go back into our object mode, and then you can see that the edges are separated from the shape. All right, now to make this look like a thread that we want, let's tap to go into our edit mode again, and then make sure you are on the edge select mode. All right, now A to select all of them, and now we are going to click on right click and then click on subdivide. Now with the subdivision, you want to make it about 3, yeah, 3 subdivisions. Okay, let's make it 4. Right, so now when you select one face, you see that they are quite small. They are very, very, very small. All right, now what we want to do next is we want to select all. So A to select, and now select, click on select, and then come down to check out this select. Okay, and then select, check out this select. So you have to keep repeating it. Select, check out this select. But before that, the ones that have been check out this selected, what we are going to do now is we are going to delete those edges. So X and then choose edges to delete them. All right, undo. I think the others have been selected. So let's Shift Alt select to deselect these ones, then X deselect them, and then come to this one to Alt select, select, check out these selects, and delete the edges. This one too, select checker, deselect, X deletes the edges. And now, as we can see, we have these short dashes going around our model, our shape. What we want to do next is let's first deactivate the subdivision, and then we are going to add a skin modifier. All right, so add modifier, then click on skin. Now at first you won't see anything happening, you only see a small dot over here. Don't worry, all you have to do is click on A on the keyboard. Sorry, tap to go into your edit mode. Okay, with the thread selected, tap to go into your edit mode, E to select all of them, and then click on mark root. So you see some small cubes along the dashes that we left, okay, after deleting the others. So now what we want to do is that we want to press A again, and then press Ctrl A on your keyboard. That is how to scale in the skin modifier. All right, so Control A, and then scale it down. All right, down to look quite small. Okay, quite small. You can scale it down to anyhow you see fit. All right, I think this is okay for me. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to duplicate the subdivision modifier, bring this down after the skin modifier, and then bring this down to 1. All right, so now when I turn on this subdivision modifier, nothing happens. But when I turn on this subdivision modifier, you see that the cubes look a lot rounded. Okay, so from a distance, this is going to look like a cube, a thread to us. So I think we should scale it down a lot more. Scale it down. All right. All right, so I'm okay with this. All right, so remember to save. And now let's go back to the layout mode. Now that our thread has been added, we are almost done. What we have to do next is we need to add our lighting and then add our image. All right, so to add our light, let's first add a plane. So Shift A, mesh plane, and then bring your plane down, scale it up. All right, scale it up a lot. Up. I think we should scale our shades down a little. I think it looks too big. Okay. So we need to also scale our skin modifier down. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay, so now let's select the plane. Tap to go into the edit mode. Then we should scale the plane down a little. Then bring it up like so. Tap to go into the edit mode. For the edge select mode activated, click on the edge behind the shade and then extrude on the Z axis like this. After that, we are going to give our plane a bevel modifier like this. Crank up the segments a little bit so it looks smooth. Now right click shade smooth. All right, so now that we have that done, we need our camera. So Shift A, add your camera, and then we need to position our camera. So to position your camera, what you have to do is that after adding the camera, just set your view to how you want the camera to be, or what you want your camera to look like. So for instance, I want my camera to look straight at the shades like this. So I'm going to press Ctrl Alt 0 on my keyboard, and then that will position my camera for me. All right, now I can move this back, okay, and then I can move my camera around this so I can get a better position. So GX. All right, and click on the object data properties, and now I'm going to increase the focal length. All right, and then you can also use these parameters to move your camera up or down. You can move this back a bit. 75 is okay. All right, yeah, I'm good with this. Now that we have set our camera, the next thing we need to do is add a light. So let me parent this to this. Control P, keep transform. Now select this, then scale them down. Bring this out like this. So select the camera, bring the camera up like so, and then I'm going to increase my focal length. Yeah, bring this down. Yeah, It's set. Control S. So let's add a light. This time, hopefully, the light affect. So let's bring it up like this. Move it close to the background. Scale it up like so. Rotate it to face the background. And let's increase the power to say 500. So 500, we are seeing something. So let's increase it to say 5,000. Okay, so 5,000, I see something down. Let's bring it. I think I should have paid more attention to our skill when we started. That's why the lights requires a lot of power to see the effect. So probably maybe in the next tutorial we'll pay attention to our skill. Yeah. So let's bring this. I need the camera to be in the middle. Looks like it's not in the middle. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. So I think let me increase it. Say 8,000. All right. Yeah, that's fine. And then now we need to light the shade. So to light the shade, select Shift A, add another area light. This time, this area light will be at the top of the shade. And let's increase it to 1,300. Yeah. You can scale it up like this. So we'll see the effects. Let's say 1,500. That's fine by me. And the next thing, we need to add another light. All right. Now this light will be looking at the image or the objects from the side. Okay. So I'll position it here, move it here, and rotate it like this. Come to the top, rotate it like so. Point at the shades like this. Let's bring it up to the top. Okay, so I think I should increase the power to 2,500 or probably 3,500. Yeah, I think this is cool. Let me increase it a bit more. Yeah. And one last thing, I want to add another light, a third light, but this is going to be a point light, a spotlight rather. And the spotlight is going to come from this side, pointing at the shades on the side like this. And I want it to point from the bottom, like so. Yeah, this is how I want it. And then I want, let me increase the power to say 25,000, because spotlights require a lot of power. So let's say 15,000. Yeah. And then I'm going to make it blend. And the size, I'm going to make the size down. On this, I want it to fit perfectly around the shade. This. Okay. So about lighting, there is one last trick that I would like to teach you guys. I learned from Kaizen tutorials on YouTube. I think I'll try to give him a shout out in the description. If he sees it, fine. If he doesn't, well, it's cool. So I learned this lighting trick from him. So what I'm going to do is that go into the camera view, and I'm going to scale my backdrop like so, just so it fits into the camera like so. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a mesh or a plane, and then bring the plane to the back, rotate it X9, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this plane an emission material, okay, so that the emission will come from both sides, and then this is going to create some sort of rim light around the shades. for us, which is quite cool, I think. So let's move straight to the shading tab now. Yeah, all right. So now we are in the shading tab, and I'm going to change my render engine to cycle. And cycles doesn't really render very fast on my PC, so you have to pardon me. So I'm going to, so with the what do you call it, the plane on the background selected, I'm going to give it a new material. Then I'm going to select the principal BSDF, Shift S to change it. Then I'm going to choose the emission material, and then I'm going to increase the emission power to say 20, or probably I think 20 is too much, 10. So yeah, so after I render this, you will see the effects of the light around it. It's quite cool actually. Yeah, so let's move back into EV, and then let's add our materials. All right, then we can render. So now that we are back in EV with the shirt selected, let's first of all create our the texture for the shirt. All right, the texture for the shirt. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make it black like this, and I'm going to increase the roughness up to the top like this, and I need to add a bit of texture to the shirt so that we can feel some sort of texture in it. Maybe you can see some that is actually a shirt, maybe some designs or something. So I'm going to press Shift T on my keyboard, and I'm going to add weave texture. Weave texture. And then I'm going to select the weave texture node, and then Control T on the keyboard, and then this adds a mapping and texture coordinate node to your weave texture for you. Okay, and this is an add-on. It's called the Node Wrangler add-on. So if you want to activate it, all you have to do is click on Edit, go to Preferences, and click on Add-ons. And then in the add-on section, just search Node Wrangler add-on, and then make sure you tick the box on the left side of it, and then your add-on will be activated, and then you can use it. All right, so let's select all of these three nodes, bring them back, Shift A, add what's the name, color round. Yeah, the name almost disappeared. Color round. And we are going to select all these three, Shift D to duplicate them. I'll explain why. And then we are going to add a mixed RGB node like this. And then we are going to connect the mixed RGB to our color round. Bring this down. Move this back. And then we also need to add a bump node. Bump node. So bump node, bring this down here. And now we are going to connect our color round into our transmission, and then connect it also into the height. Alright, so you see the effect very soon. So now we are going to mix the wave texture, the two of them. So the wave texture basically is just okay, let me just add them so you can see them. So color 1 goes here. So you can see something going on in the shirt, right? And then color, this texture also goes here. All right, so what I want to do is that first of all, if you want to separate your texture from the other node so you can see what you are doing clearly, just Shift Control click on the node so that you can see it in black and white. What I want to do is I want to rotate the wave so that they will be horizontal rather than vertical. I want to rotate the node so they will be horizontal rather than vertical. So I'm going to nope, not this one. Yeah, I think it's this one, 90. Yeah. Okay, so with that done, we can come back and then connect this. So after that, you see something going on in the shape. All right, so you can decide to just go along with this. Just go along with this, or I want to do something more. So I'm going to add a magic texture. So Shift A, magic texture, and then I'm going to connect the magic texture to the factor coordinate or the factor node. And don't forget to add your mapping and texture coordinates node. All right, so you see something going on in the shape. Okay, so now let's come to the color ramp, and then let's play around. Yeah, let's do something. Okay. So let's scale down. Let's scale this to say 15. And then we can scale this one also to 15. Yeah, so now you can see what is going on. Increase the detail, say 15 as well. And then increase this detail also to 15. And so now let's connect this to this and let's see what is going on. Yeah, so you can see what is going on in our shape. We have something like a pattern going on. Quite cool. Now this is the cool part. Now let's connect our bump normal into this normal, and then you see some sort of extrusions from the shape. Okay, now don't worry, for the start it's going to look weird, but then we are just going to decrease the strength like this, bring it down to say 0.05, and then this is what we are going to have. All right, now I want to do something else too. I want to use this as a mask to control the roughness of my shape. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift D, this color ramp, and then connect this to this, and then I'm going to connect this to the roughness. All right, so when you look this, so now you can see, so it looks as if let me bring this back. So as you can see, it looks as though the inner part is shiny, whereas the patterns are smooth. All right, so I'm going to bring this in. Let's see what happens if we do. Okay, so the shininess goes down. Shiny, not shiny. So this is what we have going on. Let's change this to E. Change this. Let's go. All right, so let me bring. All right, so we have something like this. So the plan isn't to make that this thing. The plan is to make that like a background pattern or something. Now we need to add the image for the mockup itself. And then how do we add that? Now, fortunately for us, Marbelous Designer did the UV unwrapping for us. That's why when you tap into your edit mode, you can see some blue lines around the shape. So press A to select all the faces, and then on the left side you can see that Marbelous has done a very great job at separating or creating our UV mark for us. So everything has already been unwrapped, so you don't have to do any unwrapping. All right, Now what we want to do is that we want to add our image, the image that I want to put on the shirt. So we are going to come back to the shading tab, Shift A, and then we are going to add an image texture. Don't forget Control T to add a notes and bring them up here like so. And now bring this down here and then connect this into the base color. All right. Now, after you connect it, don't worry, your shades will look very black. Don't worry. Just click on open and find your image. Okay, find your image. And so I want to add, I didn't really prepare any image, but I have some logos I can add. So let me see. Yeah, so let me add Phoenix logo design. Open image. So when I open it, for the start, you won't really see anything going on. Maybe you might see the logo appearing somewhere, but you won't really see its position. Well, what you have to do is you have to go back into the UV editing tab. All right. Now, if you go back to the UV editing tab, you see your image behind the UV. All right. So make sure your faces are all selected on the right side. Now come to the left side. Now I want to make you understand something that when you are placing your image, or when you are preparing your image for the mockup, what I'll tell you is that make sure you place your image that you want to be on the shirt in the middle, and then make the background color the color that you want the shirt to be. So for instance, if I wanted my shirt to be red, then I'm supposed to make the background of my image or the logo red. Okay, and then you find out why I want it to be so, or why it's supposed to be so. I'm sure there are other ways to add, but I think this is the easiest way. So these faces are for the sleeve, all right? And then we want the sleeve to be black. We don't want any logo. Pardon me. We don't want any logo on the sleeve. So select both sleeves and then scale them down very, very small if possible. And then move them to maybe one corner where it's entirely black, right? Like so. Then move them to one corner like this. Yeah. And now we want to find out which one is the front and which one is the back. And I think let me see. Let me select this side and see. Okay, so I think this is the front. I think this one is the front. So we are going to select the back like this and also scale it down very small. All right, very small. And also place it in one corner where it's entirely black like this. Now let's select the, what do you call it, the face, and then bring it here. And also we want the logo to be on the right side, the chest, the right side of the shirt. All right. And so that means we are not going to need the left side. So let's select the left side to the left side like this. Scale it down very small. Bring it up to where it's entirely black like this. Now let's select the right side and scale it up. All right, so over here now we need to move into the rendered view so that we can see what we are doing. So Z to open up the quick toggle and then move your mouse pointer up to go into your rendered view, and then you see your logo appearing on the shirt. So let's scale it up like this. So I think if it goes beyond the shirt, it duplicates itself. So what we want to do is, let's name this here. Let's just name like this. and then just scale it down. Select this side to scale it down. Now select all of this, scale it up. And then still select this one, scale down to about to make it a lot smaller. Now select all of them. Let's position them. Now never position it. Okay, I think. Alright, so let's go back into the shading tab. Let's see if we can work around the position over here. Okay, I think we can. Let's move it up. Okay. So, fortunately, can't. Alright, so yeah, so that is where we are going to place our mockup. Alright. Yeah. So now let's go back into the layout tab. Go back into the layouts. Back into the camera view. And I'm going to change the resolution to 2000 by 2000 by 2000, because I'll be posting this on Instagram. So I think I need to move my camera in again. Yeah, like this. So I guess I was right. It wasn't centered. Closer. Okay. So we are done. So now let's change to cycles and see how it looks. I think I should change the background color to black. Sorry. I mean this one. Yeah. Okay, so the background has no material. Wow. How come I forgot? Increase the roughness and then bring it down to black. Then the specular, probably 2. Sorry, 0.25. Alright, so now that we are done, we need to render our mockup. So to render, just make sure you set your render engine and then set your max, your samples. My viewports, I think I'll keep it at 200, and then I'll keep my render at 100. And then what else? My light path, diffuse 4, glossy 4, transmission, keep it at 5. Transparent, there's no transparent, so I can keep it at 0. So caustics, no fast approximation, yep. And then performance, simplifying. I think now color management. Look, let's make it high contrast. Okay, it's black, so I don't think high contrast is a good idea. Let's keep it as none. I think we should do something about the lighting. This lighting, I think I should bring it to the front instead. Yeah. Bring it down like this. Okay. And let's increase it to 7,000. I think 10,000. Yeah. So that's fine by me. So now that we are done, you can click on I think we are done with everything. So now render image. So as you can see, our model is already taking form. Unfortunately, I'm rendering with my CPU, so this might take a while, but I'll make sure to upload it, post it on YouTube, a YouTube post, and after it's done, and then I'll make sure to upload it to Instagram as well. So I'll leave the link in the description so that you can check it out after you are done with the tutorial. But basically, thank you for joining the tutorial, and then if you found this video very helpful and interesting, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and then like the video as well, and share this video with others. I think this video is very helpful to graphic designers in general. So if you know any graphic designer whom you think that this video can be very helpful to, kindly share this video with a person. And remember to hit the bell notification icon as well, so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So thank you for joining, and then I'll see you in my next video.